What's up, guys? It's Charlie from Debate Bentral. Let me tell you about why you should use Anchor to make podcasts. First of all, it's free. Who doesn't love something that's free? I know I love free stuff. It's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. No $1,000 soundboard required or $150 mic. No, just start on your phone. It's free. It'll distribute your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more platforms to listen to, and you can make money. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Start off talking about the NBA horse tourney. I saw that Woj was tweeting about it and that the NBA is going to try to bring some entertainment from like home basketball courts of all the rich NBA players and do like virtual horse.
Well, yeah,
Just
I was thinking Braun's never been in
you
a dunk contest or anything, so maybe this is like the little event that he wins or something.
I mean, for first things first, I feel like Curry would be my number one pick if I was fantasy drafting people
Right.
for it.
Yeah.
As long as Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell aren't in it.
I think I pull the Trae Young train. I'm on that train. I think he could just shoot it from anywhere. So, and he's just one of those guys that like he'll pull up from like he's kind of like Steph. Like I just don't know if Steph still like has it or like the creativity. I feel like Trae can get really creative and throw up some whack shot that just goes in and it's impossible to hit.
And he does.
I was gonna get off of Trae, so you can go.
Oh,
ahead.
I was just talking about how like Trae's also like a street baller kind of, like in game he's like literally throwing it between dudes' legs. So yeah, I could see him taking that dub for sure.
Yeah, and I think like another one would be like, do you think? Okay, here's my question though. I know they haven't put out rules, but do you think dunks and stuff will count, or will it just be shooting? Because that changes
It does,
a lot.
Yeah.
Because then if you're picking between like dunking and shooting, maybe you go for someone that's like Donovan Mitchell or Victor Oladipo, who's lights out, but also can like throw. Yeah, Levine might win the whole thing anyways, even if it's just.
I think
that would be a good.
That would just like turn into a dunk contest almost.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
true.
it's like I feel like they'd probably restrict it a little bit. Say like hit the shooter be out or something like that. I don't know.
Poor Curry. Look at Curry, man.
Look at Curry, man.
I love that.
No, now I'm kind of changing my answer to Levine. Like if dunks are in the mix, and like, what if there's like a rule where it's like, you can only have like one dunk. Like you can't do a dunk every single time. It's just one dunk that's like your wild card play, and then the rest is shooting because Levine can still stroke it from deep.
Well, if you can dunk from the free throw line, I feel like that's almost unfair.
Yeah.
Unless he's going against the man Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on that Levine hype. I remember.
I think
we were watching like maybe it was like 2 months ago. Remember we were downstairs and Levine literally laced it from like 30. I swear, like
he can stroke
it was like,
dude.
bro, it was like 8 times in a row. He gets hot quick.
He's cash.
I still think Aaron Gordon got robbed a couple times on the dunk contest. I feel like he should have a title.
Dude, I don't know anymore, honestly. Like,
I'm all Zach Levine.
I think I'm Zach Levine too. Actually, I was rewatching the.
What about Derrick Jones?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
this year, I don't know, dude. Derrick Jones was really good. Like,
I think he was all around, like consistent.
Dude, a lot of his dunks were a lot of the same like rendition of each other, but they were all so impressive. And like he had a lot of dunks that like he didn't have to repeat, like because he missed. He just went up, threw off the backboard between the legs, in. Like, I thought it was impressive.
I think.
Fair.
I think I give it to Levine both years actually. Well, obviously the 1 year, but then against Gordon or whatever. I was watching it back on the night that the All-Star game happened, or not the All-Star game, whatever night the dunk contest is, all the contests. And I think you guys might have been at show choir that night, but I was running all of them back like from like 2000 up to like 2019, and Levine was like insane. I was kind of impressed. I thought Gordon got robbed for sure, but I go with Levine.
I mean,
So
the dunk contest has really, really improved because if you go back, I mean, there was like the peak days with like MJ versus Dominique Wilkins and Vince Carter doing the honey dip, but then it was like Jeremy Evans. Like no one had ever heard of this guy, and well, at least I mean, I was like a 12-year-old, but still, he was like just winning dunk contests with like meh dunks, and he's like a G League player, and like those were dark days.
yeah, we saw a
for the
layup in the dunk contest at one point.
No,
Wait,
I
who did
swear
that?
it was a long time ago, but
no.
Yeah,
Well, Alex
No,
talking.
there was like, who's the dude that won the dunk contest? It was only like a couple of years ago. He played for the Thunder. He's like some bench guy.
oh, Diallo.
Yeah, like get some big name players in there at least, or like guys that are actually in the NBA.
No, drop a bag for the prize, people. I mean, come on.
I feel like
drop like a milli on the.
Yeah,
I feel like Blake Griffin kind of resurrected a bit. You know, as a Clippers fan inside of me, dunking over that car. I always remember that. It's kind of being really high.
Punching trainers.
Punching trainers, but you know he can throw it.
No.
down,
hey, he'll
so.
drop 50 first game of the year. That's for sure.
No, I liked Blake's dunk contest. Like I thought that was good, and it made it interesting. Like who pulls a car out on the court? Like I don't think we had ever seen that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that used to be my
It was
screensaver.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I know he killed Pau Gasol 2 times in the same game too, and he was like, when he go up for those dunks, man, he literally throws his hands out and is like, he's hitting with that right hand hook while he's throwing it in the hoop. That's for sure. So,
Okay. So we're kind of talking about dunk contests instead of horse tourney, but let's everyone's final vote. Who would you pick for the winner of the horse tourney?
I'll go. I got Buddy Hield. I feel like he'd be insane.
Okay, that's a sleeper. I'm going Levine.
Sleeper.
I think I'm gonna roll with Trae Young just because
Same.
Steph's a little older, and I feel like he's probably like taking care of the kids, and probably is like, I'm already 2-time MVP with my rings. I don't want to do this right now. And I bet Trae Young's just like trying to get all the publicity in the world. I know he's on
Yeah.
his highlights all the time.
I was thinking
so I
the
got
exact
Trae
same
Young.
thing. He's all about like, I mean, I don't know if he's got a TikTok, but like, what else is he gonna do?
He's all about building his brand, and I know like, since he's like the secondary guy to Doncic, he got traded for Doncic at the draft. He's just trying to make his own like mark. Since I mean that guy Doncic is
It's a whole different
beast.
Huh, yeah, Doncic is. I can't believe that trade still happened, but I mean, Trey's still gonna probably end up being like he'll win
He's an
like a scoring
all-star, I
title or
mean.
something.
Yeah, that just I mean it
I
could
have
have been a lot
I have
worse.
a bet with a
Could have been,
friend
like,
right now. I have a
Johnny
bet with a
Flynn
friend
or
right now that's
something.
like we have $20 on who will win MVP first between Doncic and Trae Young, and he is Trae Young, and
Ugh.
I'm like, dude,
He's not gonna
you're
be winning
that's
it
a
with the
horrible
Hawks.
pick.
like,
That's for
dude,
sure.
you're losing this bet, and he's like, no, dude, I think Trae Young can do it. It's like, all right, whatever, I'll take the $20.
Evan,
Yeah, I
you
got
got
Trae
Trae Young
for sure.
too.
And he's probably gonna be chucking
All right.
like
So move.
100-foot jump shot or something dumb just from deep.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, it's just gonna be cash. He's probably practicing
Probably
right
is.
now.
Don't.
I mean, Jordan Clarkson. That my boy's a sleeper too. I feel like he's got nothing better to do. He loves shooting
Jordan
the ball.
Clarkson, get him out of here. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Steph with like the half quarters though. He could probably put somebody in the coffin with those in the game.
Or if Clay's feeling healthy, I mean, Clay's a freaking savage too. KD, any of those Warriors shooters. No, KD
Okay, I
can
don't
nuts,
want to get
don't
too
know.
off
Yeah.
topic here, so we'll make this quick. But would you guys? Okay, so do you guys have Steph as the greatest shooter of all time?
Oh, we were talking about this the other day.
No,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know, Evan. You're going to get to
You-
chime in, but who would you have at number 2 then?
The person that jumps out at me when I think of shooting
that's
is
and
Ray
that's what I
Allen.
said.
Dude, I think when it's all said and done, it's Clay.
Hey, what do you guys think about this? I said Reggie Miller top. I said Reggie Miller
mean,
at the
Clay's-
3 spot right now.
No, Reggie Miller, most overrated star of all time.
No, the thing is That's not how the game used to be played. And for him to be like, dude was cold. I'm telling you, like he's just lights out.
I watched that 30 for 30 about the Indiana Pacers versus the Knicks rivalry and how Reggie just like went off against them. And I mean, I don't know because the game. I mean, like you said, the game you didn't shoot threes and stuff, and I mean you did, but not to the extent where the Rockets have five guys that are 6'5" or less and are like popping like
Yeah.
70 a game.
No, and
But yeah, I think Reggie Miller is like pretty.
I'd probably
I
say
think he's
top five.
decently
When it's
rated.
all said and
I think
done, I'm
he's
probably putting
properly
Clay
rated.
at
Yeah.
3, 2, whatever. But I would say,
Clay
yeah.
2 or 3. I mean, Ray Allen, the part that I mean, he was known for just like going out and getting so many shots up before the game, and he was just known as a lights out shooter. Later, I mean, obviously later in his career, I wasn't young enough or capable of understanding his early days with the Bucks where he could actually like throw down and stuff. And I know he hit the greatest shot of all time against the Spurs
Yeah.
in that
Yeah, that
finals.
was nice.
Yes.
That was the greatest shot of all time from like one of the greatest shooters. He just he knew exactly what he was doing. He takes a step back.
He
And
knew
I
where his
think
feet had to be,
that probably
and
propels him over Clay.
yeah, he can. I mean, I would probably put
That shot alone
I would
probably
probably
gets it
put
for him.
Allen at 2, but we were talking about this, and I just feel like Clay, when it's all done, Clay's number 2, and Clay's the only dude in the league that can put up 60 points on 10 or less dribbles. Like
Yeah.
that's just something Clay can do, and it's
Yeah, that's okay.
Like-
That's just ridiculous. That's
Yeah, and if
a
we're
whole
looking at
nother level.
stats and like career like 3-pointers made, that stuff, like he'll probably have a lot of the records. Yeah.
Clay's gonna.
Well, not I mean Steph.
I mean,
but
there's gonna be guys that are. I mean, the records, the guys in the olden days, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, those guys are gonna be eventually ousted by newer guys like Trae Young and people coming up into the league that are just 3-point like bombs away the whole time. So eventually the records will be. You can't really hold it against players. I'm sure even Steph will get taken over too. So
I'd like to give a shout out to Kyle
thank you,
Korver
Swift.
here.
Oh
Swift,
my God.
Swift, I
Iowa boy.
love it. I was trying to debate with this with Alec the entire time.
No.
I don't know how long it was yesterday.
no. Okay, look.
Iowa boy.
Yes, Kyle Korver, probably a top 10 shooter all time.
No, top 5.
But you were saying he's higher than Clay. I think Clay's
No,
better shooting than him
No, I
right
didn't.
now on the all-time list. Like, he doesn't have as many made threes, but I think he's better.
He probably is better. I'm just saying, I don't even know if you put him in the top 5. And like when you think Kyle Korver, dude, that's all he does.
Just straight up like spot up shooting. Like, okay, you want to guess his NBA career 3-point percentage?
41%.
I'm guessing 43.
Yeah, it's 42.9.
Dang.
That's ridiculous. Like Ray Allen, like we're talking about, like he wasn't to the 40% mark. He was just under that, just barely.
Clay's like
And I
41.8,
feel like-
I think, or something. I saw it recently.
Okay, here's a question: where does Harden rank? Because
Yeah.
he's just pure volume. But I mean, he's
But he's
cash,
also
but
shooting like 34%.
it's hard to rank him in the greatest
Probably.
shooters.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, but I feel like if you made Clay shoot that many shots a game and get to the free throw line that many times, any shooter would also kind of be hampered down by like getting tired. But so I don't know how do you think that?
I don't
puts
know
him
if he's
in the
top
rankings?
5. I mean, I feel like you can swap like any of the dudes out, like at this point. I don't know. I think 1, 2, 3. I'd go.
I mean-
Steph, Ray Allen, and I'd probably go Clay. I think that's
we have Steph, Ray Allen, Clay. I don't think Harden beats out any of those 3. Then
Yeah, no, I don't think Harden makes top 5.
Yeah,
And
then
I
we
think
put Reggie Miller at like 4-ish, and then 5 can be Korver.
just for the
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
Iowa boy.
Mhm.
All right, you guys want to move on?
Yeah. NFL draft hype. Now that we have nothing to do except for read articles and just look at Dynasty Fantasy, what are you guys looking forward to
Swift's
for
got
the
some
draft?
trades going.
Oh,
I mean, for Dynasty, if we're talking Dynasty, I got some trades going. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of gotten a little bored a little bit sometimes, so I've kept busy with some Dynasty stuff. So, I had a couple trades that I ended up going through with, and I think probably It's kind of a result of everybody kind of sitting around with nothing better to do than talk trades and get
Yeah,
deals done. But I got 2 done the same
I'll get
night.
8 messages from you in the same hour usually.
Yeah, I mean,
Nah, I'm
it's
just playing.
entertaining. No, but if you want to go into that, so I did a deal. I had 2 deals, I guess. And you guys can judge them or rank them or however you want to do. But I traded my 107 in this draft and the 301 in this year's draft for AJ Brown and a 2021
Okay,
second
hold on.
rounder.
How big is the league?
Before
Okay.
I already know where this is
12
going to
million.
go. Charlie is going to say it's a ripoff, and I know where Alex is going to say, and Alex is going to say it's not much of a ripoff because he's not as big on AJ Brown. So go ahead, you guys talk about it.
Wait, hold on. You traded away the 107 and 301, and you got AJ Brown and 2 something.
And the 2021 second round pick that this guy had. So that could be anywhere.
So you have
but
2 picks from him.
No. I just got AJ Brown and a 2021 second rounder.
Oh, I say you lost that trade.
What do I do
No,
best?
no,
That's all
no.
I'm saying.
I can't. AJ Brown is a gosh dang freak, and he's an alpha receiver, and he's like 22, 23. He's set up to have a super long NFL career, and he already had an amazing rookie year. He looks huge in those pads, and I don't think the 1 point Clyde. If you just put players in there, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and like I don't know Josh Kelly. Those
No.
guys that is not
Those
worth
guys are
AJ
not
Brown in the
going
second
at
round pick.
107.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, don't you think that's like the
Could be.
107 kind of?
There's a
Or
hint. Justin
Jalen
Jefferson.
I was
Reagor
just about to say.
or Justin Jefferson. Okay,
I take AJ. I like the proven commodity of AJ.
No, okay.
Like you're the Family Guy saying it's like why like or no he's on Family Guy and he's talking about like I could have a mystery box or I could have a boat. Like and the mystery box could be anything though. It could even be a boat.
All
like,
right.
I feel like you just rather just take the boat. And AJ Brown, who's just as young as anybody else that's coming into the league, and he did it with that Titans offense. So he's obviously got some talent.
which was honestly pretty explosive towards the end of the season. AJ Brown is 22 years old, and let's check out his stats from last
Let
year.
me chime in on the
stats. He had 8 touchdowns and 1,000. He had 1,000 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns with 52 receptions as a rookie.
Here's my reasoning why I don't like AJ Brown. When it comes to fantasy, I like volume. And if you look at the second half of the year, I'll read from week 8 on, 2 catches, 4 catches, 1 catch, 4 catches, 3 catches, 5, 8, 1, 4.
I think that's a product of Derrick Henry and King Henry just going ridiculous.
I also think that's a product of
how does that
and it's not
how
Michael
does that
Thomas.
just being a
going forward,
younger
though?
player.
I mean, you're gonna have Tannehill throwing him the ball. I don't think Tannehill's bad by any means, but I don't think he's I don't think he's gonna create some top 10 fantasy wide receiver. I think he's good. I prefer my draft picks, and I think at 107 I would rather have, a Justin Jefferson or a Denzel Mims or a Cam Akers, someone like that. And then that 3rd round pick, I'd rather just go for a flyer than a future 2021 second. That's just me.
I mean, did you watch any of the Titans game?
Yeah. What I do like about AJ Brown, he's really good after the catch. So he'll catch the ball.
Oh,
yeah, he's a tank after the catch.
You can't bring the guy down.
But for me, it's volume. And, even when he's getting, let's see, 90%, he's...
So would you rather have Jarvis Landry than AJ Brown? Jarvis Landry.
Let's put it this way. I would rather have DK Metcalf than AJ Brown.
Is it because of the quarterback?
Because the quarterback, he's, I think, just better. I think AJ Brown's a little bit more refined, but I think DK is such a freak, and I like Russell Wilson, and I think that they're going to create even a bigger role for DK down the line. I just would rather have DK. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Titans wide receivers. Like, I guess we'll
Also,
see going forward, but
this is
Well, the
this is
reason
DK's combine right here.
You got it.
4.3, okay. 27 reps of the bench. He's got almost a 41-inch vert. Oh my god! See, it's his lateral speed that's lax. I can't find that. Yeah,
But that didn't even matter
Yeah,
because
and
I
he's
mean,
6'4",
he's just a
230.
producer.
yeah, he's just massive.
is
That's
that
DK.
DK or are you talking about?
And the last receiver that we've
Okay.
seen with similar combine numbers and like height and weight was Calvin Johnson. I'm not saying he's gonna be Calvin Johnson, but like he's got everything going for him. And I think if
And
Go
to
ahead.
think that AJ Brown and DK Metcalf were in the same
and they
offense
couldn't
at Ole
win
Miss.
games.
Well, I mean, I don't think wide receivers really have that much of an effect on winning.
AJ Brown.
I think there's a whole
Sure.
lot more that goes into it for
AJ
college
Brown
football.
was the star at Ole Miss. Like he was like the higher talent or whatever. Like I mean, they're both great players, obviously, but I think he was he's the number one guy there. And you look at like where they are in the NFL right now and the situations that they're in. Like I think that maybe you could say like Metcalf is a better situation, better quarterback or whatever, in the type of offense. But like AJ Brown, like is doing it with Ryan Tannehill. Like if they ever have somebody else that comes in, he's going to play for a long time. That is, even a little bit better. He can go
Right.
crazy.
Now
If you're just
let me
looking
throw
long
something at
term.
you. What happens when Tennessee turns into a Jacksonville situation where they go out, they sign their quarterback to a lot of money, and then Tannehill goes down and gets hurt, or Tannehill just sucks and isn't worth his $118 million, and then you have AJ Brown in this like very average offense getting 3 catches a game, and maybe he rips off some runs, but like I don't like I think he's super talented, and I just don't buy into the team that he's on.
Well, maybe that's more applicable to a redraft league this year. I don't think AJ Brown will be. Maybe I don't know. I haven't really thought much into it since we're still early spring, but maybe that's more applicable to redraft because I know Dynasty is just like you have this guy for his career. I know you want to do free agency and stuff, but Dynasty is like I'm getting AJ Brown for the longevity of his career, and
I
Ryan
mean, we're talking
Tannehill will
though
just have a shorter
4 year
term
like
effect on
Tannehill gets brought in
him.
for 4 years. I know it's not guaranteed for all 4 years, but
I mean, true.
the expectation is we have this guy for the next 4 years. That's what you have to go in with the mindset of that. And I don't like that outlook. I'd rather take 3 or 4 guys that I'm floating between in the draft at 107, where I can basically pick that I think is going to give them the best output, if that makes sense. Like if Justin Jefferson ends up on the Vikings and takes over Stephon Diggs' role, like I think I'd rather have that.
Fair. I mean, Skull, but
Hey,
I don't know.
Charlie's not complaining.
I don't think it's like a horrible trade. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, this is a D- trade, but I think it's like very like C plus B minus. Like it's just kind of nothing really stands out to me. And like in terms of your end, Sam, like what you received, but I don't know. I just like my draft picks unless I can get like premier talent, and I just don't see AJ Brown as premier talent.
Sam, if it makes you feel better, I think this trade was an A for you, and I would instantly decline it if I were the other guys. So.
Yeah.
And let's hear the second
Okay,
deal.
well, this is kind of wrapping up the thoughts in the first one. I feel good about it still, obviously. But with the point that Alec made about like Titans wide receivers that he didn't like maybe that's just because like there hadn't been a good one that comes in or whatever. And they didn't have that guy that was as talented or whatever as AJ. So I'm hoping that talent wins out here. But going into the next deal, I acquired Mark Andrews and I gave up 2020 second round pick, the 201.
So pick
the first pick of
13.
the second round. I picked 13, and then I gave up two. Oh no, not two. I gave up the 303 and then the 307 for Mark
Okay.
Andrews.
I'm
I
I'm
agree.
on the pick side.
The only
on
reason
this
why I
one.
say that is, well, I guess there's two reasons. One, I am always on the side of more picks, unless it's like if you're offering me 4 third rounders for some star player. Like obviously, I'm not on the pick side for that, but I always would want like top picks. And I don't know if I buy. I think Mark Andrews is good, but I don't think that he's going to be like consistently like a top 4, 5 tight end. I just don't see it with Lamar Jackson throwing him the ball, but that's just me.
I mean, I
Brandon, what
believe
do you
in
think?
Mark Andrews. I'm not sure. Like, he's really young and like what he's done so far in his career. I think he's established himself as like a prime target for Lamar Jackson in that offense. And I kind of made this trade like thinking about like, he's super young and he's already arguably like a top 3 tight end. And I would say he is for Dynasty. I think he's at that 3 spot right now after Kittle and Kelsey. And I'm thinking like anytime that I have a chance to get my hands on an elite tight end like that, that's that age and I can have for Dynasty for that many years, like I'd totally do that. Like, what's 201, like, okay, yeah, it's kind of, tough to lose that. But I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a tight end like, for sure, a tight end like that, but, a player that can fill that role that,
What
Mark Andrews would do. It's like pretty valuable to get that production
what
from that
what
slot in your lineup.
was your tight end depth prior to this trade?
He's like
I've got
20
a lot
tight
of tight
ends.
ends. None of them
Like, give
are
me the
really
top
that
3.
great, but
Chris Herndon.
I'll give you all of them here.
He's got Ian Thomas, OJ Howard. Those are my 2 that I can
I'm
think of.
looking at right now here. So I have OJ Howard, who I drafted to be my guy, but that didn't really turn out. I'm hoping he'll do good with Tom Brady. Then I got David Njoku, Blake Jarwin, Ian Thomas, Chris Herndon, and then now I have Mark Andrews. And so I'm guessing that at least a couple of those guys will break out, and I can trade him for like a running back or something. And there's also 2 flex spots, so I
Yeah.
can utilize
Like if
that
OJ
for
Howard
any of these
plays
guys.
well with Brady, then you could flex him and play Andrews at the tight end. Yeah.
Yeah, or if Jarwin breaks out at Dallas or Ian Thomas somehow goes crazy, or I don't know, Chris Herndon. But there's a lot of
You're
opportunity
kind of
potential
talking me
there.
into this. I guess the other thing is with Lamar Jackson being in Baltimore, like you kind of know, barring injury, that their offense is going to be elite, and you can kind of throw Mark Andrews into like he's in an elite offense, whether he gets the ball or not, or whether Lamar Jackson can throw the ball great or not. At least he's in like a really good offense that's going to move the ball. So,
As the number 1 target, I mean, I would say he's
he's the
more
most reliable target.
more of a target than most
like
reliable.
Marquise,
There you
or
go.
what is it? Marquise Brown. Yeah, Hollywood Brown. Like
Hollywood Brown.
to me, I like him, but in that offense, he's a gadget player. He's not like a Tyreek Hill type guy because I just don't think Lamar Jackson's really going to try to take the top off of defenses. But yeah, no, I think it's a good trade.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, if that trade was offered to me, I think I would have to think about it a little bit, but I think I would ultimately accept it. So, taking Mark Andrews.
On which side? Lamar.
Yeah, at that point,
Okay.
I mean, I had probably I had 4 third rounders going into this. I had like a total of like 10 picks in this draft. And so, I was kind of looking to like trade some of those for like actual pieces that I liked. And so I ended up just kind of like, okay, what's a third rounder at this point? Like, I'll throw in a couple of them. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'll take that, chance on that tight end that could be, up there with George Kittle for however many years to come. And tight ends are they develop slowly. It's like you don't always really know like what one's going to be good or whatever. But I feel like, it's kind of an easy, like, okay, I can get Mark Andrews, and I've seen
Yeah,
it already
and
from
in
him.
fantasy,
So
especially, like tight end's such a positional advantage if you have a good one because there's only like I don't know five good ones, and then after that it's like hard to find someone that's super consistent. And so, if you can have that positional advantage against a team that is, picking up a tight end on the waiver wire every week, like you're gonna win games. So no, it's a good trade.
Oh, another thing I didn't even mention to this point, Hayden Hurst leaving also leaves some snaps. Like you talk about snap share, and you look at Mark Andrews last year, like he wasn't on the field for very many snaps. Like he was, splitting with like Boyle and Hurst, and he was still, put up numbers. But I can only expect that to increase and his numbers to go up with Hurst leaving
Yeah.
in free agency. So that's another thing.
Hurst is a nice sleeper.
Yeah, if he takes
Isn't
the Hooper role, like
on the Falcons
solidifies
actually.
himself in that role.
Yeah.
I guess any other. I guess were you talking about like draft hype here, like players or?
Or we could talk NFL draft. We can also move into like what the Chargers
Let's
quarterback situation
let's
if
do
we
the
want to just
Derwin
go
versus
straight into
Tyreek thing, and
that.
I think that would be a good segue into the Charger stuff. Um, yeah. So
Okay.
on the
You can
sheet
do
here, it
that
just says
part.
Derwin versus Tyreek. Are you saying like who would I rather have?
No, Madden.
The Madden.
Hey,
Oh.
hey, for real though.
No, I'm talking Madden.
I watched Derwin
But we
whoop
can
on
talk
Michael
both. We can
Vick
talk
like
both,
no other.
actually.
I knew Derwin was my guy the entire time.
Derwin is a baller at Madden.
He said he.
I watched a clip and he's just like he's about to go up by 50 or whatever against Tyreek in the championship of Madden's like players play tournament for quarantine. And he was like putting guys in motion. He's reading coverages. I'm like, this is just a whole
He
other
was.
ball
He
game
said he
than
was going
I
to
can
give
even
Tyreek 50, and he
comprehend.
literally gave him 50.
Well, and he beat him like what was it, like 50-6?
3-7.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
yeah. I thought it was like 52
He's
to 52 to 3 or something.
he's
That's just
he's really good at
embarrassing.
Madden. I guess I don't really like watch Madden. I don't play a ton of it. Like I always get it and then play it for like a week.
You make a
I
couple
get a franchise.
you
I play
start
the
your
first
Ultimate
3
Team,
games,
then you
get bored. I'm
hella
like,
bored
I
of
want to
it.
do a draft, so I simulate the rest of the season, and it just becomes a cycle of that. So,
Yeah, I just simulate every single season.
Also-
I started one on quarantine, and I simulated like 20 years with the
Madden this
Jacksonville
year,
Jaguars.
when I was in Colorado a couple weeks ago, we were playing Madden. That game is so broken. Like, just all of it is broken. Like,
with the
I was driving down
superstars
the
and
field and I had a chance to win the game against Colin, and like my quarterback, I had Deshaun Watson. I was rolling out and I was diving for a first down, and he doesn't even get hit. He just fumbled it. And then Colin took it to the house and like won. And I was like, this game is so broken. I don't know. I just not
I'm
a
strictly
fan.
Ultimate Team. I go hard for like those first like I don't know 2-3 weeks. Rip packs like literally thousands. Make sure we get those. Charlie, what are they called? Like the rewards.
it's the legendary rewards where if you open 1,000 packs, it'll give you like
Yeah,
great packs.
even going back
4
to
great
Madden early
packs
days,
like once a month.
it's just strictly packs.
Now,
Madden Mobile, that was just working
The
the
flood
auction
and
market,
everything,
trying
yeah.
to like
Now,
the flood every 5
if we're
minutes.
talking Derwin versus Tyreek, like,
This
Yeah,
is
so-
this is actually like an interesting football argument.
Like-
If you're a GM, you get
well, okay, I
you're up
thought
on
of
the
it like
clock.
this.
You have to pick between
Like,
the two. Who you?
you are the
Or-
who's a terrible team in the NFL? The Jets. Oh God.
You're the Jets.
Yeah. You're
Just
the
forget
Jets,
about
or you're
Jamal
the
Adams
Dolphins,
or
or
whatever, but
you're
they're
someone like
disgusting.
that. That's just a bad team. Okay.
You're the Redskins.
You're the Redskins.
How about you're the Redskins? You're
And
just awful.
you have the
year over
chance to
year.
just like take one of those guys, like for free, whatever. to change your team, I am picking Tyreek Hill 9 times out of 10.
It's like in Madden when you get to choose the cards, you get like those free like 85 overall packs. It's like,
I
which one are
agree.
you gonna go with?
I like Derwin a lot, and I think he's the best safety in the NFL, but that's a whole different conversation. But I just think that Tyreek has the ability to completely wreck games and, just change your offense completely more than any receiver can in the league. Like,
Yeah.
not saying that he's the best receiver. I just think that he's so explosive that you always have to account for him no matter what. And even if he catches a ball like 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, he has the chance to take it to the house every single time. And so I just don't think Derwin has the ability to take over games like that.
Well, even if he doesn't catch the ball,
Yeah.
He's forcing the defense to stay honest over top and, drawing coverage of the safety and, double coverage and whatnot, like trying to make sure he doesn't run past them. So definitely opens up underneath.
And if he runs a deep post route, he gets the safeties and the cornerback, and then you open up the middle right
And
for
you saw it like first game back. I remember us playing Tyreek the first game back when from injury, and I don't know I can't even remember the team, but he straight up mossed like two guys that are way bigger than him. And then you look at the Super Bowl and he's making huge plays in the fourth quarter, like Mahomes just chucking it deep. Like he can literally change the game in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
And I think Derwin would be like one of the peak like defensive options to go against Tyreek if you're picking between the two, because he's like a gadget player. He does everything on the field. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He can play in coverage. He can be a linebacker. He can rush for sacks, and that's like he's basically positioned.
The way I would
know
describe
Isaiah
Derwin,
Simmons coming up in the draft is kind of
I like
that
the
too,
Swiss
so.
Army knife,
But
analogy or whatever. But to me, he's like the queen in chess. Like, he's so versatile. You can just use him anywhere. He can blitz off the edge. He can play in coverage. He is a big hitter. He's really smart. And what I do like about him a lot that I think changed our defense is he has that alpha dog mentality. And so he just commands the defense. And I mean, if we're talking like dynasty defense, he is top 5.
Well, Jack Boy's got that swagger. You know that?
Oh, yeah.
That's facts. Both up.
So
except
speaking
on the
of
Vikings
both
fans.
up,
Cool, baby.
you have here new uniforms and then the Tua versus Herbert debate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Plus,
Cam
or
off
any
the table.
Jordan
Not
Love,
even an option.
Cam, whoever.
But before we get into that, I'll talk about the new uniforms. First off, the logo. I like the logo more. It's not. Yes.
I don't even notice it really. I feel like
For the Chargers.
Oh, I think it's super noticeable. It's way cleaner. They got rid of the navy blue. You can tell that they're going for these new uniforms. The home uniforms are going to be powder blue. Like, they're not going to be an alternate anymore. So
yeah, they should be.
yeah, and I think they're going to go for like this, like an old school modern look. I sent you guys that photo a while back of Keenan Allen. I think they're going to look similar to that.
I don't know how that's going to work, honestly. I don't really know if I like the whole.
Yeah. I'm excited to see them.
Everyone's
I just
been,
want it powder blue because that's the
hyping
best
it up
uniform in
and
all
saying
sports.
like, that guy that does the, I don't know if it's like a Denver Broncos radio show or something, but he was like, I saw the Chargers uniforms, or his buddy saw the Chargers uniforms and said that like they won't let anyone down and like they live up to the hype and they're by far the coolest out of like the 7 that are coming out this year.
Like,
yeah,
and like
that
Peter
hype video.
Schrager was in the Chargers social media video, and he was getting hyped. I know. Speaking of which, Chargers
They have a great
social
team.
media is like incredible. Incredible team accounts. I know team accounts are usually just like dry, and it's like I don't even know if I follow the Vikings because I just have like a Twitter list
Charlie.
for Vikings people, but
they
the
tweeted
Chargers
out
social
some
media
guy
is
actually
on
on
point.
like their
So
Alec, was it like the video team? I don't really remember if it was social media or like who it was, but they tweeted out and they were saying like they needed like a couple, maybe it was just one more person, a couple more people or whatever to help with that that sort of thing, maybe with social media or video
No,
production.
is videography like a videography
Yeah,
job?
videography. I was like, maybe quick trip out there, stay a week, see what we're feeling. get get a red camera.
Get a red
What's a
camera.
red
Yeah, you'd
camera?
be great. And
Yeah,
it's
it
just
shoots
like
like
an
8K. Yeah.
absolutely
Oh,
elite camera
gotcha.
that's like it
Yeah,
shoots
no,
like
I'm
8K.
stoked for the new uniforms. I know Tampa Bay is dropping theirs April 7th, so I would assume that we're gonna drop. Yeah,
It's
Wait, Tampa Bay's
it's
getting new
gonna be
ones?
so weird
it's
to
off the
Who
top of
see.
my
else
head.
did?
It's
Who
the
else is getting
Chargers,
new
Tampa
ones?
Bay, New England is getting a new. They're adding like an alternate or something.
Wait, New England?
I think
Really?
they're bringing back like the ones where they have like
Oh,
the Patriot on the helmet, like the white helmet.
the
Oh,
red.
I like those. Yeah.
I know the Browns are coming out with
Yeah,
new
those are sick.
uniforms.
Ugh, ugly.
Uh, I know there's 7 teams. That was like
Yeah,
4, but
that's just
yeah.
disgusting.
Oh, the
I know, like
Rams.
with Chargers social media, there's this tweet
We'll have to
that
see with the new
sometimes
logo.
gets in my feet.
Oh, that logo.
There's this tweet. There's this Chargers tweet from February 19th, 2007. It says, "So
I
hungry,
know, dude. That
need to
thing went
find
so viral.
my wife, and head to PF Chang's." And then they tweeted, "PF Chang."
I,
They said, "PF Chang's is so good."
no, no,
2 days later,
that's a classic. They always
that's like
bring it up
OG
like once a
Twitter.
year on just like Bolts from the Blue will say. Was it the Chargers Twitter or was it like? Okay, yeah, that's funny.
It was
Um,
Chargers Twitter.
as far as Tua versus Herbert goes, guys, what do you want to know?
We know you want
Like, what do you want
to.
from me?
We know you want. I'm just curious. Do you want to give a? Do you want to get? Let's just say you can't get Tua at number 6. Are you wanting to give up draft capital to get Tua, or would you rather just get Herbert and then get like a super solid
Okay,
receiver in the second
I'll
round,
go through
assuming you have to
my
trade your second round pick
like
to go up to get Tua?
A through D scenarios of how I want this to play out. So scenario A, number one's like position to be in is we don't have to trade any capital and Tua just falls to us at 6. Okay, I don't think that's going to happen, but I guess you never know. There's some reports out there that I could.
I thought you were
I
super
won't
big
get
on
too
that.
into that. Well, no. Okay. Well, I'll go into this a little bit. When Adam Schefter reported that Miami was looking to trade up for the number 1 pick, there's one or two ways that could go. That could be complete smoke to see if another team is going to try to trade up for Tua, or they found something in him, or the medicals, they didn't like him, and they are kind of freaking out like, oh, shoot, I don't think we want this guy anymore. Let's try to get Burrow. And in that case, I don't think any other team is in position to really trade up for him, like if Miami doesn't want to. So I think there's a chance that we could get Tua. Scenario B would be to trade up for him, like whatever that would cost, as long as it's not like completely,
Unreasonable.
dump. Well, yeah, like dumping away the future. Yeah,
RG3
then I don't want to do that. But if it's
destroy
like
the future of your team.
this year's first and second, and then like next year's first, and then maybe some late round picks here and there, I'm cool with that. But Tom Telesco doesn't really trade around in the draft very often, so I don't see it happening. If we can't get Tua, scenario C, I think we need to go best player available. So, if that's Becton from Louisville, if they think that they need a left tackle, they're pretty sold on Trey Pipkins for some reason. So, who knows what will happen there. I really like Okuda, Simmons. There's no receivers. It's basically offensive line, corner, offensive line or defense, really. Yeah, if they took like a Derek
Chase
Brown,
Young
then
magically falls
I
into
wouldn't
your
be
lap.
mad. Our D line would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, that defense
But-
is scary already. So
Yeah, our defense would be really good.
And I know they're talking about like switching up some things on the defensive side of things, so blitzing more, things like that. So, I mean, if I could pick any defensive player to add to my team right now, it'd be Okuda over Simmons. just because I don't think we need linebacker as much. And even though we signed Chris Harris, he's not going to play on the outside, and we need one more guy on the outside. So, and Okuda would make our secondary like Legion of Boom-esque. So, and then after that, if I have to decide on a quarterback that's not Tua, like basically Herbert or From Hurts, whatever. Herbert, the only ones I'm like comfortable taking at 6. Not like thrilled about it. But I'd probably give Herbert the edge over Love, just because I think Love has probably the higher ceiling. I don't even know if he has the higher ceiling. They're pretty similar, but it's more like Herbert's a little bit more polished, and Love has like a lot of stuff he needs to work out with like his footwork and decision making, and Herbert seems at least a little bit better on that end. So I don't know. That's where I stand.
Evan, what do you think as a fellow Chargers fan? A little less hardcore than Alec, but not with your
I'd
fandom.
probably
level,
go with the
just
same
like,
thing. I feel like I
I
like
don't- you know
Herbert
what I
more
mean.
than Alec does. He got some speed, low key. He's got some wheels, and he's a cannon, and got a cannon. But I'd probably say this.
I feel
I don't
like
know if I'd
Herbert's
say he's the
just
guy.
the
I
guy.
like
That's
what
just
Alec
what
said, though.
That's just my
Like,
gut. Is that you guys are
Let's
gonna
put it
have
this way:
Herbert.
if Herbert gets drafted, I'm all behind the pick. Like,
Yeah.
I go in with the expectation that Anthony Lynn and Tom Telesco and the coaching staff has a plan in place. Like at this point, they already know who they're probably going to take at 6. They've gone through every scenario in that top 10 of where players could fall, and they know if so and so's off the board, we're taking this guy. If this guy's on the board, we're taking this guy. So they already know what the pick's going to be if Tua's off the board or if Herbert's off the board or Okuda. Yeah, if Chase Young's probably their top rated player
If
on
Chase
the draft
Young's
board.
there,
I don't
or
think they
whatever,
think that he'll
or
fall there,
Okuda
but if he
falls.
did, I think they're taking him.
I would hope so.
Yeah, right. But they're
Yeah, I bet there's no way. There's no way. That's like a 1% chance. But then again, I remember like 2013, I think it was. Like I was looking at like Mike Mayock's mock draft, and it was Sharif Floyd was going number 3 overall, and then on draft
Then they
night,
kinda
the
busted.
Vikings get him at 23. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But then, yeah. Well, then he also got injured, and like there was like a lawsuit. I don't
Who
really know the
remembers,
details of it, though, so I can't really speak on that.
I know what you're gonna
But
say.
know it ended
Couple, I don't
not
know.
very well.
I guarantee you don't.
When I just was guessing with dropping on draft night, I was thinking Laramie Tunzel for some
That's
reason.
exactly what I was gonna say.
yeah. Like what happens if Chase Young comes out and there's like a gas mask video
Yeah.
that surfaces and he falls to 6?
If there's a gas mask video, just give him number 1. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, if that comes out, I would still
It's
draft him,
Redskins.
man. Are you kidding
Just
me?
stay locked on Chase Young.
Yeah.
I hope that video comes out so the Chargers get him.
I mean, Chase
Yeah,
Young's
Yeah,
the
of
best
course he would. He's
DN
a
prospect
freak.
probably since like Mario Williams.
I mean,
Probably since like
Miles Garrett
Myles
was kind
Garrett
of a surefire
a
guy.
couple years ago was a really good prospect.
then he
as well.
wrecked Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
He was the number 1 overall pick.
I kind of forgot
the
about
Browns,
that.
So yeah,
The game was over.
that's just
and what the heck
it's
was
kind of a
happening?
weird situation, honestly. Probably the weirdest thing that happened last season. And then he said that Mason Rudolph said racist stuff, and Mason Rudolph's like he's like
Yeah.
destroying my name, and then
Wait,
now
so
it's just like
back
I enjoy
to
the
this.
can't
memes.
even talk about it. It's
I
just
know you guys.
bizarre.
I already touched on this, but like if Herbert or Love is the pick at 6, you guys were talking about how I'm gonna blow up debate Bentral being all pissed. Like I said, yeah. I mean, if we take Jordan Love and like
I mean, you won't be
Jeff
happy.
Okuda's on the board, like
I don't think at first.
I'm not gonna be thrilled. Yeah, I'm not gonna be thrilled
You're
in the
gonna
last
rage.
10 years, but
I would rage. He's like the
Uh,
best cornerback prospect.
if
in a
that's
long
kind of
time.
the situation, then I'll be pretty pissed. But if we take Love over like Herbert, or there's no way we take him over Tua, but um, I'll stand behind the pick and I'll just, hope that they have a plan in place for him and just have to ride that wave, I guess.
Last time the Vikings, Sam and I's team took a
That
quarterback
was
at the top of the
Christian
draft,
Ponder.
not counting Teddy Bridgewater because we traded back into the first round for him. Was Christian Ponder, one pick after J.J. Watt, and 3 picks after Tyron Smith, great offensive tackle. Then the first 7 picks of that draft all became Pro Bowlers. Cam Newton, MVP.
Oh,
Von Miller,
jeez.
Marcel Darius, A.J. Green, Patrick Peterson, Julio Jones, Alden Smith. And then after Christian Ponder, three more Pro Bowlers: Robert Quinn, Mike Pouncey, Ryan Kerrigan, Cameron Jordan, Mark Ingram. But I mean, you're not going to draft Mark Ingram at the top of the first round, but you know what I mean. It's just tough. The Vikings just signed veteran free agent quarterbacks like
So, okay, I have a
you got
question for you guys
Kirk
that
and
aren't
Donovan
Chargers
McNabb
fans.
and Brett Favre and
Like outside looking in, okay, I get that we're moving into a new stadium. You kind of have to get the fan base rolling here, but from like a team building standpoint, would you rather take someone like Herbert, okay, and get your quarterback of the future, potential quarterback of the future? At this point, it's like a 50-50 bust rate. Or would you rather take someone like Okuda or an offensive lineman, someone that you can build around for like Tyrod Taylor to make this just a better team for him? Because this is the best roster Tyrod's played on ever. Like, I mean, aside from probably that Ravens team when he was a backup, like when he started in Buffalo, right, and
I mean, he did
do you
make
know
the
who
playoffs
he
with the
was
Bills
throwing to?
once. I think at like
Like
9-7.
a washed up shady.
But
No, it was like Kelvin Benjamin and like Seth Roberts
Stevie Johnson, was
and
he
a
there?
washed up LaShawn McCoy. It's bad. Like, he's got
Ugh.
Keenan, Hunter Henry, Mike Evans, Austin Eckler. If we get a left tackle, let's just say, build around Tyrod for a year, the offensive line is definitely improved. The defense is
Yeah.
already loaded.
I mean, I'd say I'm taking quarterback because you got to fill that need sometime, and like you got all this talent, and your team. You look at the list and the roster, like it looks like it should be pretty good. But honestly, I don't think Tyrod's going to take you any place anytime soon. So, yeah, I
Right,
mean,
but
I think you have to do it.
I
Like
think
you
that's
have to
just
get the
8-8, and then you're
quarterback
not going to trade
when
up
you
for a
have like an
quarterback
upper
next
pick
year.
in the draft.
At least you have to know your guy. You have to get Tua. You have to get Herbert. You have to trade back for Love. You have to do like whatever it takes to get your guy, especially when your team is not even known for having fans.
Yeah,
Like
you
you
can.
guys are the only Chargers fans that even exist because they can't even fill a soccer stadium. The Chiefs come
Surprising
play.
enough, I
If the
know
Chiefs
a
come
decent
play,
amount of
it's
Chargers
like
fans,
all red
actually.
and it's become a meme on
It's
Twitter.
kind of
I
funny,
have two
actually.
friends that are Charger fans. Me, my buddy Keezy, and my buddy Dustin. Like, we're all Charger fans. But no, I get what you're saying. I just don't want it to be like if Tua's their guy and then he gets picked, that they just say like, okay, well, I guess we'll take Herbert now because we need a quarterback, even though they're not like completely sold on him. Like, I don't want to do that. And I feel like, yeah, Tyrod historically has been like that 8-8, 9-7 type quarterback, but look what Jimmy Garoppolo did in San Francisco. Like, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's that great. Like, is there that much of a drop off between Garoppolo and Tyrod? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I also don't think that the uh, Chargers roster is at least as stacked as the Niners. I mean, the Niners put it all together at the right time. They were sucky
Yeah,
last year,
their
and
their
then they went to the
defense is
Super Bowl
probably
this year.
more
They had a
like,
lot of things go right for them.
there's more depth to it.
I mean, that
D Ford.
DeForest Buckner. They had Nick
Sherman.
Bosa, Eric Armstead,
Yeah,
Fred Warner,
Yeah, but what
I
happens?
obviously
Sherman.
I wouldn't
Like,
force
that was
force
the
the
best
quarterback if
defense
it's
in
not
the
your guy.
NFL.
Obviously, like I mean, if you really like the guy, you got to. I mean, I'd say take him. Like even if you have that cornerback or whatever, Okuda. but I feel like quarterback's such a harder position to fill than say like a cornerback or something because like teams are holding on to like their franchise guys. You know what I mean?
Okay, No, go ahead.
And I don't think the Chargers. Hold on, sorry. I don't think the Chargers, by holding Tyrod, is like gonna help them any bit because the sooner you get a young quarterback in, the better. Because these guys, these solid veterans that the Chargers have, like Chris Harris. I mean, every
Yeah,
year that you take is just one year
I
where
see what
people
you
get
mean, and
older
I
and
agree.
more
I do
expensive.
think if
So
anything, like we're in a good position to draft a guy. I just like I don't want them to just draft a quarterback for the sake of drafting a quarterback. Like if Herbert and Love aren't their guy at 6 and they'd rather have Tua, then take BPA, like best player available at 6, and then take a Fromm or a Hurts or someone like that in the 3rd round that you think you can develop. Like I'd be comfortable with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not your guy, don't take the guy that's you don't want.
So okay, this doesn't have to do with like quarterbacks or anything, but if say we drafted like Okuda, would you rather have our defense coming up, assuming we add someone like Okuda, or the 49ers defense last year? And let me just list off a list of names from our defense, just to refresh you guys. Joey Bosa. We added Linval Joseph,
you
who
have
is
a Bosa
an absolute
brother, so
run stopper. Melvin Ingram.
He's a big boy.
The secondary would feature.
Yeah, he's a monster.
The secondary would feature
Big
Okuda.
Joseph is a monster boy.
Just for the scenario, Okuda, Casey Hayward, Des King, and Derwin, and then you throw in like Drew Tranquil as like the lead linebacker. Oh, dude, he's a beast.
I've never heard of him before in my life, but maybe I need to learn more.
I mean, looking at what the 49ers did, I'd probably still say the 49ers. I don't know. Just because their defense really carried they carried them to their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like that's literally like
we've seen that before.
Probably one of the best defenses I've seen in a while since like the Legion of Boom.
And then their offense was just equipped to tear down the clock so their defense could stay fresh.
Breida.
They had like an arsenal of running backs: Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman. Who else? I don't know. But they also had Kittle. Kittle, best run blocking and receiving tight end in the NFL, best overall tight end. You have like the Swiss Army knife Debo, rookie, who was a nice addition. They traded for Emmanuel Sanders. Like they really put it all together to maximize their defense.
Framework.
Yeah, you're close, I'd say.
So
I love that too.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I agree. I just feel honestly, I feel like this. If I were you, this is what I would do. I would draft like Simmons most likely because I just think having him and Derwin on the same defense.
I'd be cool with that.
And then I'd probably just trade back for Jordan.
I don't think that's
trade
like
back
that.
into the first round. Because if you get like a absolute blue chipper, and then you have a pretty solid team to build around. At the end of the day, a rookie quarterback can just
I got him in Dynasty, so
Austin Eckler
I'm all for
150
that
times. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
You look at Simmons though too, and that guy is just a freak in general. Like I remember watching like the national championship game, and J.K. Dobbins busts off like a big run, and then you just see like Simmons like from 15 yards back catch up to him. Like I don't think J.K. Dobbins is that slow of a guy, but
he went 4.39.
I mean,
yeah.
didn't Isaiah
4.38.
Simmons run a sub 4.4?
He's literally
that's just ridiculous.
He's
played
6'5",
every single
and he
position
plays like
on
every
defense
except for nose
That's
tackle.
the guy I'd want, honestly, and just give me Jordan Love.
Shoot,
that's where he lines up.
Damn, that's just insane.
Luke Kuechly, like
you put him at DN, he's Cleveland.
Yeah,
you
he's
put him
super
at linebacker.
versatile. I don't know. Having two Derwins on the team is like
he can play cornerback. He can do everything.
Kind of hard to pass up. And imagine
Yeah.
playing the Chiefs,
Nobody scored.
Like
the
that would just be
the versatility of
absolutely
having
incredible.
either Derwin or Simmons being able to blitz while one is guarding Kelsey.
Oh yeah, just taking Kelsey out of the game.
Yeah, that would.
I, I I just looked up Isaiah Simmons on Rivals just to see his recruiting, just because I saw that I looked him up and saw he was born in Omaha, and I'm proud to say that Iowa and Iowa State, both of our respective college teams, offered him. And if he didn't go to Clemson, it looks like he would have been a Big
Huh.
Ten boy. He visited Illinois, Minnesota, and Nebraska and Missouri.
Let's
But
go to.
that would have been
I think we're
hilarious if
kind
he
of
was
good on this.
in the Big Ten. Anyways,
Yeah, we can do that.
should we go to Viking? Should we go to Vikings now?
Oh,
We
definitely
don't have to
some
make
takes
this
on
long
this,
because it's
so-
not as much philosophical team building. Well, it kind of is actually because. So Sam and I, our team is the Vikings. We just traded away Stephon Diggs, which is for a pretty good package, probably above
Yeah.
average. I mean,
Glad
obviously,
we
you saw
didn't do
DeAndre
that.
Hopkins get sold for 30 cents on the dollar to the Cardinals, but yeah, thank God we didn't do that. But so we got a pretty good trade for him, but it's also like we just keep going in circles as Vikings fans, where we make
I
an
got
NFC
some-
championship with a veteran quarterback, then we get a new veteran quarterback, and we have amazing skill players in our history, skill position players. You know, Adrian Peterson, arguably one of the best running backs of all time. Randy Moss, arguably the best receiver ever. Chris Carter, Percy Harvin, Dalvin Cook, Thielen, and Diggs. So Diggs is gone, and Diggs probably
For sure.
gave us our most memorable and best moment as Vikings fans when he did the Minneapolis Miracle. That was probably the best,
Of
one
course,
of
I
the
have
best
his
sporting
jersey.
moments of my life when that happened. So it's kind of sad to see him go. But
I had a
I'm
Christian
also looking
Ponder
for.
jersey.
I had an
that was
AP
terrible.
poster.
He even had a Christian Ponder
Yeah.
poster.
So I was basically a Vikings fan. That's exactly what it was.
I mean, I feel like there's an AP poster at the Scholastic Book Fair every single year. Anyway, so yeah, this season we lost so many pieces,
go.
especially on the defensive side. I mean, we at least Linval went over the Chargers, my second team, because of you guys. But so we got Linval gone, Everson Griffin,
He's
who's
like the new
been on the
Jared
Vikings
Allen.
for like almost a decade, 9 years, almost a decade. He's gone. Xavier Rhodes, the Vikings. The meme on Vikings Twitter is that every single year we draft the cornerback in the first round, and that was Trey Wayne,
they're
Xavier
gone.
Rhodes, and Mike Hughes, and then Mackenzie Alexander was the second round pick, and we lost Rhodes, Alexander, and Waynes. So we only have Holton Hill, who's like a 5'8" guy who's undrafted. You get an undrafted guy to be good enough to be a starter.
We have some good
That's a
safeties,
win,
though.
but
got
we
good
have no
safeties.
cornerbacks at all. And Mike Hughes has had injury problems. And then we got good safeties, but Anthony Harris, he's either going to get traded or extended, one of the two. We barely had enough cap space to franchise tag him because Kirk took a 2-year extension, which freed up cap space this year. So, yeah, it's a huge year for Zimmer and Rick Spielman because if they absolutely choke in this draft, I don't see how they're coming back.
Let's not talk about that, though.
Because then the team's just expensive, aging
Well,
players.
I think with your guys' first pick, you guys have to.
Yeah,
get
let's
corner.
just not.
I think
let's
corner's
just
a
hope
bigger
that they
need than
nail
wide
it.
receiver.
So, who are you?
I mean, our picks are basically back to back. We got the 22nd,
Yeah, I think
the
so too.
25th. So
I think it's
either or, whatever your guy is. But
yeah. My ideal first round is we get a
wide
cornerback.
receiver.
I don't really care what the order is because it just depends on how the draft board falls. But we get one of that one guy. I think it's Fulton from LSU or Gladney from TCU. One of those guys.
I was just gonna say,
that are like the
I don't know where he's gonna fall because depending on where
I'm
teams
not
think
really
corners,
as
but
well.
if he gets to CJ Henderson.
I've seen a lot of.
And is
kind
there
of
a guy from
ironically,
Florida
I've seen a lot
too?
of
Jones maybe.
Trayvon Diggs, who's Stephon Diggs' brother,
Henderson.
being mocked to the. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna draft him, but
I'm pretty
I
sure
thought it
the
was kind of funny.
Vikings
I was
came
seeing
out
in
and
a
said
couple
we're not
mocks,
drafting
they
him.
draft his
So
brother with the pick that they had like traded him away.
and he'll be gone. We'll just repeat this pattern in 5 years.
Yeah.
We'll have Derek
Um,
Carr as our quarterback, and we'll have to draft
I
another
think it's
first
pretty
round
evident that you
cornerback.
guys are going to draft a corner, but so it doesn't really
Some
matter
senior in high
who.
school right now.
But I'm more curious on where your preference is for wide receiver if you guys decide to take a wide receiver in the first.
Yeah, so I'm thinking if we go wide receiver in the first, obviously I want CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy to fall,
Okay.
and we would just scoop them up at 22 or trade up to like 19 or something if we really wanted to. Um, and so CD and Judy, those are the two elite guys. Preferably CD would be my
I
number
was gonna
one,
say,
and I hope
what
that
if
kind of happens
what if like
like
CeeDee Lamb
if like
falls to like
Ruggs
13 or
goes at like
14? Would you be
13 or
willing to trade
something,
your two first to get
and
him?
then if
Mm. Yeah, probably not.
I don't know because this is such a deep receiver class. I probably not, but I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's fun. At the end of the day, Vikings won't win a
I can
Super
see.
Bowl. It's fun to have good skill position guys.
Yeah,
So
for
maybe I
me, I
do
like
it,
Justin Jefferson a
honestly.
lot, obviously.
But
He put up insane numbers at LSU. And then also like Denzel Mims, like what that guy did in the combine, and it's like he was productive at Baylor.
Yes, Swift.
The guy's a freak. Like Denzel Mims.
yeah,
Yes.
Denzel Mims, I honestly might put him over Jefferson just because we have Adam Thielen. We have Adam Thielen in the slot already, and I don't think we're gonna run two. We can't run two receivers in the slot, and Adam Thielen's like a 30-year-old white guy, and I just don't see him being able to like body lockdown corners on the outside. He can obviously be an incredibly productive slot receiver, over 1,000-yard seasons, but I
Yeah,
want
I
a
was gonna.
Yeah,
big
I mean,
elite
low
like
key
Sorry, go ahead.
alpha
though,
receiver on the
like
edge. So
someone
either
like to
Mims,
fill like
Judy,
Diggs'
Lamb.
spot, kind of like a Jalen Rager, like the speedy guy. I think that could also be pretty
I
sick
just
too. Like just anything
I don't like
really
the
there.
value of Rager in the first, to be completely honest. But I get what you mean. Like I like him
Yeah.
as like a prospect, just not that
Like
high.
ideally Ruggs. Yeah.
And another scenario that I kind of like in my head is if we go corner and offensive tackle in the first round, and then in the second round we get like a Brandon Ayuk or Laviska Shenault. Just kind of like I know that doesn't probably won't solve any problems, but one of the second round guys in
Michael
this
Tom.
class will be
Yeah.
like an elite receiver because you look back at what was it 2016 I think with the Michael Thomas here and like Devontae Adams. Those guys are second
Yeah, there's a
rounders.
lot.
And Laquan Treadwell and
I know you mentioned
Josh
Jerry
Jackson
Judy.
were like
Like I don't
first
think Judy will
rounders.
fall
So
there, but I'm gonna be honest. Judy is kind of sliding down for me. Like I'm not completely sold on him.
I'm agree. I mean, maybe it's because I've learned so much about Mims, but
I
honestly,
think
Mims just
I don't know
gets
if
me
I'd have
hype, and
that, but the
I
thing
don't
with
know
Judy
if
for
do I
me
have
is
Mims. I
like
might have Mims over Judy.
he doesn't
Honestly,
such an elite route runner, but he struggled with like drops a little bit in college, and I just don't know if his frame can hold up like at the NFL level. Like he wasn't getting hit at Alabama because no one could catch him, but like at the next level, I just don't. I'm not completely sold on him. Like I'd rather have Lamb than Judy.
yeah. And another thing is, I know everyone's trying to find their next Tyreek Hill. And we were talking earlier about how much speed kills and having deep passing is like probably the best weapon you can have on offense. So like if Ruggs fell, I know he wouldn't be the most fantasy
Sure.
perfect guy, but
Yeah.
I also wouldn't mind seeing a speedster because that helps with team success. So, but I don't think Ruggs the way the cookie's been crumbling, at least
Like
on
maybe
like
at Denver
NFL
or
Twitter
something
and
there.
mock drafts, seems like Ruggs is going to be long gone before the Vikings get a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Denver and Oakland
Yeah.
and 49ers. Those three
I've
seem to
also
be
seen kind of
mocking a lot of
this would be
receivers.
interesting, and I don't think I'd like
But
it as much as going wide receiver cornerback. But I've seen a linebacker going to the Vikings, Patrick Queen, the guy from LSU. I wouldn't mind it, but I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Like if we did that, we could
oh
have
yeah, I wouldn't
him
mind that
and then
honestly.
Kendricks and Barr, in the middle of our defense, which could be pretty crazy too. So
Sorry, go ahead.
Ideally, go ahead. Okay. Ideally, first two rounds we'll get a receiver, and then we'll come back in like a fourth or fifth round and get like another receiver, like a Brian Edwards, Tyler Johnson,
yeah,
Colin
get a couple
Johnson,
young guys in
one
there.
of those like middle tier guys that I think could
feel
have a
like-
good chance. In the
I feel
Vikings,
like Tyler Johnson
scouted
just
Stephon
somehow
Diggs,
is going to
got
end
him.
up on
They got
the
Stephon
Vikings,
Diggs in the fifth round.
with
so,
going to
I mean,
Minnesota.
BC Johnson in the seventh.
Minnesota.
Yeah, like I just feel like they probably have scouted those guys
And maybe
so thoroughly that like
and Antoine Winfield Jr. hopefully.
right, and so I feel like one of them just has to end
We
up
went
on
to
that team.
I mean, it's right next door too. So.
went to a game at that stadium. Us boys.
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah, TCF. We went all four of us. Chargers,
Well,
Vikings.
Keenan Allen was
Remember
a
that
beast.
was like for some
We
reason I
got
remember
blown
that
out,
was
but
the
Keenan
day that
Allen had,
Devonta
like,
Freeman had his
13 catches
breakout. I
for
think he might have had like 3 touchdowns that
He
day.
he did have a pick six.
Yeah, I was
We
going
gotta-
to say that. The Iowa boy that turned Viking.
Hey, we
I
gotta
think
see
Chad
some
Greenway had a
AP.
pick 6, so that was awesome.
I'd never seen Adrian Peterson play.
Yeah.
Another thing is,
Remember watching the tight ends come out? They were just
oh, yeah.
massive.
yeah, I forgot he was still on the team. Yeah, they're just huge. They're just freaks. But this year I went up to Kinnick with a couple cross country guys to watch Iowa versus Minnesota when Iowa beat Minnesota when they were like, I don't know if they were still undefeated. I think they were. But every single play, their quarterback would just throw Beheave and Tyler Johnson. And then next year, Rashad Bateman will be a guy to look out for the draft. But those guys would just go up and get it every single time. And it's like, they were freaks. And I know, like, you can't just judge everything off of college production because and just what a person's able to do in
Okay.
college because it's inferior athletes
Big
than the
Ten,
NFL.
too.
But they're really impressed. They matched
Yeah, I
the
just
eye
have a
test
feeling
in
one
real
of those
life, at
guys
least.
is gonna somehow end up on the Vikings.
Yeah. I just don't know. If there was like if this draft had like 3 good receivers, I'm like one of them's going to the Vikings for sure. But now that there's there's like 12 guys, maybe not that many. I'd have to list them out, but there's a lot of guys that I would like. So I just have no idea where the Vikings think they're gonna get their guy, and also
Yeah,
it
I mean,
also
I don't
depends on how
expect
the
anything
draft
like
board
that to
plays out
happen.
because
I mean, you
stuff like
never know,
Laramie
but
Tunsil or Aaron Gassman changes everything.
that stuff really. Yeah, I mean, totally could.
The Daniel Jones.
Or like Sharif
mistake.
Floyd. Like, what if a Javon Kinlaw or someone drops? Yeah, you don't expect the Daniel Jones. That happens. One team is going to do something crazy. Like, remember 2 years ago,
Marcus
the Saints
Davenport
traded for like another. They traded up like a couple spots, and they traded another
Yeah,
first round
there'll
pick to
definitely
get, like,
be
that defensive
movement.
end from Marcus Davenport.
And who knows? Maybe like
So
Jordan
stuff,
Love
crazy
falls to
stuff
like
happens. round
16. You see like the Pats trade up and just grab Jordan Love or Herbert or hell, I wouldn't be surprised if they stay pat and take like Fromm.
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't be surprised if the Pats.
I think they'll probably
get
just
Cam Newton.
tank this year and draft Trevor Lawrence #1, and everybody is gonna hate. That'd be so annoying, but that's such the Patriots thing. They just
That
know
would
how to play the
depress
game.
me.
The roasted him out week 1, all the way through week 17.
Yeah. And Bill Simmons was talking about those ESPN articles about the Brady Belichick breakup, and they were talking about how Belichick really wants to see what he can do with a mobile quarterback. I think so. Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah, it'll
Imagine if
be
you got a
interesting.
Lamar
It's
or
gonna
like
be a
Patty
completely different
Mahomes.
league
I
this
mean,
year.
Brady
You
can
know, with
barely
all the
move.
quarterback movement, like Cam's gone, Philip Rivers goes to the Colts. You got Brady in Tampa. Like,
And somehow I feel like Jameis Winston, even though it's hilarious that he did the 30 for 30, I feel like he somehow became underrated a little bit because 5,100 yards. I know the game script was just letting him heave it up, but I
Take a
think
shot,
it's like
maybe,
who
but
wouldn't want
man,
to take a
I don't
shot
know if I
on
want him to be
yeah,
a
Jameis
starter.
Winston or
I mean,
Cam
that guy
Newton? I
had the
don't get
best
why they're
situation
still in the
ever
market.
with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, running out there for him. He's got some pretty big targets.
Well, at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, like if you can get him on a super cheap
I'll take him for a
contract, but no
backup
one else is
for the
like
Vikings.
super like focusing on them. Yeah, it's like there's gonna be guys. There's at least gonna be like 5 quarterbacks that are out for the season. I know, like last year was like Big Ben,
no, I'm
and
here.
there's a lot of them last year. The last couple of years, Jimmy Garoppolo tore an
No,
ACL.
but
I think we did we
I
lose
thought
Al?
like the
I heard a
Bears
noise.
should have, instead of trading for Foles, they should have just
Okay,
went out and
I just.
signed like
Anyways,
Jameis or
so
Cam.
what? That was just like you can't. It's like that was just
Speaking of
ridiculous.
draft
You
stuff
gotta,
and
as a
like
Bears fan,
this whole like
you would
player
have to
fit
be feeling
talk,
not
this
comfortable
doesn't
with
need to be
that.
long, but I was just curious on what you guys' thought is with this. I saw a Gary V video a while back, and he was talking about if he was the owner of the Jets, how he would run them. And it was like, I would take a quarterback in the first round every single year until I like hit. What do you guys think of that philosophy?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I
Like,
kind of
it's kind
like
of
it though.
ballsy.
It's like somebody's gonna be it. The rest of your team would suck.
It's it honestly, but then does each quarterback just get depressed that they're like
I
Josh
mean, I feel
Rosen?
like
Like
though,
his,
if
I
like
mean, obviously Josh
you
Rosen
throw a
wasn't what they
QB,
thought he was gonna be because he
yeah,
proved
or
at
if like you
Miami.
find a QB, like let's
But
say you're starting from scratch, you take
if you did
one,
that year over
okay,
year, you could probably
and
find
if
someone.
he doesn't show any promise whatsoever, like just really bad rookie year, let's just say 13 touchdowns, 21 interceptions, couldn't get over 4,000 yards, like just bad. You kind of know, like, okay, this guy doesn't have it figured out. He wasn't a day one starter. Okay, he moves up to the backup role. You draft another guy, and as soon as you see like but the thing
What
is
if you
he
do? What
didn't
if you get someone
start
that's
right
like
away.
Drew Lock?
So
What do
like
you?
we didn't see a
I
very
mean, he
like
went on a little
comprehensive
run to end the
season from
season.
Drew
How do you
Lock.
know what
And I
he's
think
gonna
with
be
that
though?
philosophy, yeah, you'd have to do that with like you know how the Eagles did that with Carson Wentz. Like they just threw him into the fire and
Which
told him,
this
you know,
year we'll
figure this
probably
out.
see.
Like
Yeah, I mean now that I'm thinking
Yeah,
about it, I
same.
probably wouldn't. I don't like that strategy,
Hmm.
just because you got to give your guy some time to like pan out and like try to see like if you made the right pick, like see if he's gonna work. I don't think anybody's gonna show it like right away. Or I mean, besides like the greats, like Patrick Mahomes just rushes on the scene like gets like the first start and he goes
And
crazy or whatever. But I feel like it's going to take people some time, so you can't just like move on and just waste draft capital when you might have something already in your organization. And then just the other thing about it is like their contract. Like, so if the
yeah,
quarterback is the first person that you get, they're going to be asking for that big contract. You know, and when they're doing that, you got a lot of other players that you're trying to sign around him, and it's going to be too expensive probably. So it'd almost be like better to like build the rest of your team, kind of like the Chargers are doing, and then throw that quarterback in last second and like have that rookie contract go and have that be able to work
Completely
with
agree
it
with that.
financially in that way.
another another counter argument to this Gary V strategy is that you see, like this year, I mean, Mahomes, he was one D Ford offsides away from going to Super Bowl last year, but then Mahomes this year's playoffs was a whole different beast, starting in that Texans comeback where he was just like he's yelling on the sidelines and like
yeah,
doing all that stuff where he was like just an alpha dog. He's like, I'm the best player in this game. We're winning this. We're down 24. It doesn't even matter. And that's the kind of stuff that doesn't like Drew Lock. I mean, obviously Drew Lock's nowhere near the talent of Mahomes, but that you're not going to get from a rookie quarterback day one. Like for example, Lamar Jackson, MVP of the league, best fantasy player, became like the face of the
Yeah.
NFL until Mahomes kind of took it back in the Super Bowl. And when he was losing to the Titans, he was like deer in the headlights. He like, and I think that that's something that kind of isn't really all about your skill. It's just about a little bit of
Right. Well, like
development.
I
Like
see what you're saying.
LeBron
It's just
didn't
like
go win the finals right away.
if
He
you're
had to
taking a quarterback,
go,
like it takes a while for a quarterback to like command a locker room, and you can't just do that year one. Like maybe you see that a little bit at the end. Like I watched there's like a short film documentary
Mhm.
thing on Kyler Murray and how they were saying he came in right away and he was the starter day one, but he wasn't like some vocal guy. He didn't really talk to anyone. He just kept to himself. But as like the year goes on, like they start to open up and take command of the locker room and on the field. And I think you will see that as like time goes on. Like not every quarterback can just step in and be like, look, I'm the man here. Like they have to get the respect of the other players. And so like if you're taking one every year, you don't give that quarterback time to do those types of things. But I just thought it was an interesting little thing that he said, and like you think about it, and you're kind of like that might work, but at the same time, you have to fill out 20 some other positions that you need to have a Super Bowl winning team. So I just thought it was interesting.
And it's just Gary Vee.
Yeah,
he's just known for like everything that comes out of his
he
mouth.
just
Like
says flagrant shit.
it is. It's kind of interesting to think about though. Like we talk about how like we're like holy crap, like this dude's just like saying random shit, but it's kind of funny. Like you think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think more people than Gary Vee have said it too, but just because they're like like Jets fans specifically, I think someone like Sean Fennessy at the Ringer even said this like when in that 2 years ago when it was Lamar, Josh Allen, Baker, and they're talking about which quarterback and Darnold. They're like, I would if I were the Jets person, I would
Yeah,
just draft a
and
quarterback
like
every single
until
year, just
someone
because
sticks and just can like figure it out,
they've gone through
like
so much turmoil. They're like, just
that's
give me
kind of one of those
someone
things. It's
that
like
works.
look at that draft class and like think of the guys that we're talking about right now, and who's going to be the Sam Darnold, who's going to be the Josh Rosen, and then who's going to end up being the Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying that they need to be the same player type. Like, oh, well, Jalen Hurts is most like Lamar Jackson. Like, no, but who's going to make the impact? Because we have all these guys at the top that the top four is pretty solidified, but there's going to be guys that fall late into the first and the second that are going to make impacts before. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're Dak Prescott. I was actually a big fan. I watched, Mississippi State in college, and I always thought he was really good. But yeah, I mean, that guy, he blew up pretty much right away in like the preseason. I remember he was throwing for like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, and like Derek Carr, I'm not saying Derek Carr's great by any means, but he did have a season where he was
And
damn near an
that's when Romo
MVP,
kind of was on that.
and Oakland went like 10-6 that year, and Derek Carr was a second round pick. Like, you can find guys, but I don't know. It's an interesting strategy. Maybe you just take a quarterback in every single round. Just have 7 rounds of just quarterbacks in one draft and see which one makes it.
I think the Vikings got the polar opposite of that strategy going on with just signing old, aging veterans and whatnot. It's kind of tough. Like we have a good winning percentage, I guess, with it, but you never get that guy that's going to take you all the way. It's kind of people in like the back half of their prime. It's just not really what you want for trying to win a Super Bowl and go all the way.
All right. Well, are we good on this? I see here this.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be able to speak on this a little bit more than I can, but trying to go viral on TikTok.
So. This is the best thing ever. Are you kidding me? Well, Charlie, you're the one posting the most content, but I will speak on this because we're all addicted. Well, at least I know Charlie and I are addicted. I don't know about Swift.
I like watching it, but I'll never make a TikTok.
No, yeah. That's what I thought. Because I didn't think I was going to say. I mean, I made 2 TikToks. I th- I, I think I like making it more than.
I like making them more than watching them,
Or
honestly.
I just started watching All
Because I just
American, and I'm
keep
not
getting
kidding you. I think I
stupid
sent you guys a video,
TikToks of
a minute
guys
of just like
doing
scrolling
golf
down, and
trips
it's
into
like
spread solo
90% All
cups. I'm like,
American,
how
which
do
I
I
love
get
the
this
show,
off my
but like
feed?
I don't want to see that on my TikTok. But it's been interesting. There's like a little algorithm we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, so I sent a thing to the boys group chat of us seniors that are just stuck doing nothing, and Jake is a friend of the pod. He said a couple weeks ago, like, let's do a trick shot every day, and then we'll
It's
grade winners, and
frustrating.
that kind of faded out after a few days because first of all, it's really annoying to have to do trick shots. That it's frustrating when they don't go in, and it's just like, God, I feel like I'm wasting my time. So then I'm like, all right, so let's see if we could go TikTok famous. And so we've been trying different things on there.
Yeah, I've
And
done my
I
fair
mean, I've
share
been
of like
posting
YouTube
some where it's
searching,
like
like
me
like the
and some
whole
where it's like
sharing and like
screen recorded
watch times
videos
like
of John
super
Wall
important. Like
back in the
any
day.
interactions, like
But
that'll get you on the For You page,
but
and
yeah,
yeah, there's just a lot
Yeah,
of different
I always
strategies.
see your guys'
We got
thing where like one of you guys' videos will pop up on my For You page, and
hmm
I guess I don't know, like, should I be like
You should be
watching
you
it
should
for
be
a long
watching it for
time?
10 straight minutes. You should be liking it. You should be commenting at least 10 times.
I was wondering, like, what if I? This is another thing that I wanted to try. Is like, what if I just left my phone on silent and
I
just
think
had
it's
the
just because
TikTok going on
if
loop
it's
when I
your
was like
account,
sleeping?
you
Would
should
that do anything, or would the algorithm
we
think
should
figure
try
out
that.
that this
I
is
think we
just
should
like
totally
cheating?
try that.
Yeah, like it'll pop. Well,
Well, what if I
it
was
probably
watching
takes two,
your
like
TikTok? What do you
your
think?
contacts and then matches up your
Yeah. So what
contacts
if
to
Okay,
like
like
let's do that.
who has TikTok.
maybe a little social
Yeah,
security
your social
number.
security number, your date of birth,
Yeah,
all
and
this
also
stuff.
it's a Chinese company, so it's like stealing our data.
And a cross-referencing.
something,
TikTok is just
Charlie?
like
Something
taking
that's
that
been
from
weird though
us. It's like
is
attach your
your
phone number
fantasy
and
football one. You
everything,
know how
and
it's at
then
like
you'll
maybe it's like getting close to
whatever it's
10,000
called.
views.
But then it's
It's
like,
weird
oh,
because the whole like algorithm thing, they say like in the first like 2 hours, if you get this many views, then you're going to go on to the
yeah.
next
So
stage, and you're going to continue to get more views, and eventually you make the For You page. But you've been like slowly like increasing. Like the first day you're like 2,000.
yeah, So like, I'm trying to figure it out because, and then now I've been looking at the TikToks in my For You page and looking at the comments to see like, because they don't show the date on the TikToks unless you click profile. But then you have to like scroll down and find it.
Yeah,
So I've
and
just
Well,
been looking at
I was
comments.
gonna
It's like
ask this. You
February
guys should
twenty
make
second. So I'm
like
like,
a data sheet
So
that
I'm wondering if
follows
it's
some
like
things,
some of
like
them could be like
kind of build like a
slow
KPI,
churners,
like where you can follow. Yeah, well, like, do you guys know what KPIs are? It
Yeah.
stands for key performance indicators.
This would be
So
like my
like
data
you guys
science,
could,
my
track
major.
every day. Like day one, I got this many
No.
views. Day two, I got like it's now up to this, and then track like, by day three, there's a significant jump in views, and maybe there's a trend with all of your TikTok videos, and then also see what like the ratio of like if Charlie, you have 10,000 views on a video but only
Yeah.
400 likes, then like figure out what the ratio on like how many people that view it like it, and see if there's any like you know trends along the way. I think that would be super interesting to look into.
hmm And another thing is that it seems like it goes in bursts. Like
oh yeah, and
sometimes
Yeah.
I'll check
also
and it's like 4 hours later
the
and
other
there's like
thing is
two likes,
I
So
had a
but then sometimes
video.
it's like in
Jake, I
30
think
minutes span you'll
might
get
have
like
said
20
this,
likes.
but
So it's
I had
interesting.
another video that
I haven't
two
figured it
videos
out
I'd
yet,
previously liked, like I
but
swear probably like a month, maybe not a month ago, a few weeks ago at least, and it re-popped up on my For You page, and it said I had liked it. And I was like, I was just surprised that I'd already seen it like again, and I thought once I'd seen it, I probably wouldn't see it again unless I went to like my liked history or whatever. So that's kind of another weird thing that I noticed.
So let me propose you with a scenario here. You go viral on
Debate Bentral.
TikTok. Now
Debate
now
Bentral's
what?
popping.
Now what are you gonna do with that platform?
Oh,
Plug
I'm
the
promoting
pod.
everything. You're going to see my YouTube. You're going to see my Instagram. You're going to
Now,
see everything. You're going to
now,
see
now
Debate
I'm
Bentral. You're
just
going to.
promoting the absolute F out of this podcast.
Yeah, everybody has like an
That's why I
equal
kind of
chance, kind of.
that's kind of another reason I want to go famous on TikTok is because then I can promote like this eventually and all the other stuff. Like David Dobrik, I remember he had this Vine where the only reason I knew who he was because there's this Vine
Oh yeah.
of him like in a Burger King drive-through, and he said, "Can I have a burger with like?" Or he said, "Can I have a large penis with mayo, please?" And then Alex Ernst was like, "That's disgusting, dude. Why would you get mayo?" And then I just remember that was hilarious. So I'm like, okay, I see this guy on my YouTube recommended like 4 years ago,
Oh,
600K
yeah.
subs, David Dobrik. Oh, he posts four
Oh,
minute
dude.
20-second vlogs. That's kind of funny. Now
Yeah, it's
he's
crazy.
like a
Even
celebrity. And I think that's the
that's
path
probably
to
why TikTok's so
success.
cool too. It's
Obviously,
like
he has his own methods,
everything
but
under a minute. I
and
mean,
I think another
the
thing that
same with
helps
Vine.
David
Like
is
Vine
that
was
everything he
was
does
Vine
is
6
short and
seconds.
sweet.
Yeah. So TikTok's really short. You don't have to have attention span. Us high schoolers can't pay attention for more than 40 seconds. We know that. So
Vine was
yeah.
like six,
So
7 seconds.
so the
Yeah, I can get
Addis, like
I can get
Addison
Especially
down with
me
Ray,
and
that.
you,
Yeah,
Evan.
pretty good.
Sam's pretty good at it,
uh,
paying attention.
Addison Ray or like Charlie D'Amelio,
I
like
do.
they didn't even have to branch out to
Except
like
Sam would
YouTube
show
or
up
Instagram.
late,
Well,
so he'd
like
miss.
they
That
have
that'd be
now,
his
but
fatal flaw.
like
But yeah, Addison Ray.
Charlie D'Amelio almost has 50 million followers. Like I was talking about this on any other platform besides like Instagram. Maybe I'm trying to think of any other platform. Maybe Twitter too. But like nobody has that following on like YouTube except for like PewDiePie and Dude Perfect probably has like 30 million. But like 50 million followers almost like that's ridiculous. That's a lot of people. So, and she was in a Super Bowl commercial. Yeah, exactly. So
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe a
and you
collab
can
with like
start.
Madison
right,
Beer on
You
yeah,
can
TikTok.
that'd
start
be
doing
She
fun.
brand
she goes
deals on
famous.
TikTok now.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this. I mean, I just watch TikTok and I just save the funny ones.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I have to go
You're just a
into
grown
work
man. I mean,
for
you're
this.
about to start work
So
tomorrow
what
for the
are our
first time
thoughts
ever. You're about
on
to join the
because
workforce in this
for school and that
coronavirus.
coronavirus? Because I feel like obviously
You guys aren't going
my
back.
opinion is we're not going back, and Des Moines Public Schools already like announced that, and I feel like there's some people that like have it like we still have kids like going to freaking
We're
not
not.
birthday parties, but we know what we're talking about here, like that.
Social gatherings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and like I know that everyone wants to get their workouts in, but like the track started being used too much. And apparent, I know our track coach, Josh, and he said that um that there was like a gathering of like younger kids and they were like playing football and stuff, so they had to shut down the tracks. But like they were there, those that thing would have been like COVID central. There was like 20 people at a time at the tracks, and it's just
Yeah, and I see
people, especially in
yeah, and
All
I
the
see
John
spring
State who
breakers
Snapchats
coming
and it's
really go
back
to
like
high
and like
school
meet
have like
here,
not really
like
wrapped their heads around
it'll be
the
like asking like
situation.
for so if I know you like a bunch of our soccer guys like before all this, it's like meet at the field at 3. Like people just throw it on their story, play some pickup soccer, and like I continue to see that, and it's like I feel like none of them are really like worried about it, but I think it's definitely something to look out for sure.
yeah. I mean, I keep thinking like, man, like, and however many years from now, I'll look back and like, this is really probably how my story is going to be ended. Like from high school, it's be a part of like what happened. Like, yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
have second half of my senior year really, so it's gonna be kind of interesting to be able to have that story.
Like yeah, I was graduating high school in the middle of coronavirus, so I didn't even have my credits were exempt. I didn't have
Well,
graduation till
what I-
August.
Yeah.
College was
Like,
online in
sorry.
the
What
fall.
happens
Like
if
this
what
could just
happens
go
if
down a
NFL
whole rabbit
draft
hole of how
and
crazy this
not the
could get
NFL draft, but
if it
NFL
doesn't get
season
situated.
gets delayed or canceled or something like that.
Sam, does it make you nervous at all about going like halfway across the country? Like if if fall semester is starting to get risked, and I know you're an Arizona commit.
I don't
Yeah, I
really
think it's
think
the
So
like
same.
does
whether it's
that make you
Arizona
nervous at
or
all, or are you still
Iowa,
just holding out
or
hope
what.
and just
I think it's the
fine for
same.
now?
Like, I mean, as far as colleges go, like I think they're pretty much going to be like all together with like, okay, we're going to have online classes or
all
not. I feel
colleges are
like
going to take
everybody's
the
kind
same
of like
precautions.
thinking, yeah. And so I don't think it really matters. Like, there's cases in Iowa and in Arizona, so
Yeah. And what if one if a good chunk of colleges cancel, it's like what colleges
I
are
just
going
think
to get
it's
their
what
kids back?
sucks is like
That would just be like look
I
like
know this isn't the
negligent.
case for
They're not negligent.
U3,
They're just doing the
but
wrong
it could have
thing.
been. But like, imagine if you were like on the cusp of being like a Division One athlete, like Sam and Evan. Yeah, you two could play college soccer. I'm not saying at what level, but you guys, yeah,
Yeah,
or
that's
run
working for
track
you.
or
Yes,
whatever.
yes,
no.
definitely.
And then you have
track.
like Carson who wants
Yeah.
to.
I get
Sam
that
could have also ran
badminton
track
Muriel,
D1.
But what I'm just saying
gotta
is like,
say, committed.
like if you were someone that was like Evan or Sam, like if you wanted to really play soccer in college and like now your season's just gone, like that recruiting process is over. And like for someone like Carson who's actually trying to do that and like plans on running
And
in college, like
Yeah. Yeah, so he was looking at UNI, University of Northern Iowa, and they're like he like went to their he went to the junior day last year, but he's like went on a visit and they're like, okay, we want you to hit this time. And I mean, he went to the biggest
it's
meet in the
indoor.
state. That was like an indoor meet at UNI, and he won the thing at UNI. Didn't have the time yet because it's week 2 of the season.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like February, and now it's like
he mentioned something about how
times
like
for at least
there
in
was
this situation.
another college I don't remember, but they're definitely like obviously looking into this sort of thing, like adjusting the time because they know you're not going to be at your peak in like mid-February or whatever. Like,
And if you run a meet in June when it's like or July when it's like 90 degrees out and you haven't been like running on the track for months,
yeah,
like
you're not
even
going
if
to be.
that
You
is
might not be in
possible to
peak
even
performance.
happen, it's like
Hey, stay ready.
that's just a
Yeah,
little
Stay ready.
ridiculous. Alex been training.
Yeah, I've been training.
Yeah, I've been getting after it,
Training his cod fingers.
For
He's been watching
I
tape.
watched
He's a
Throwing
tape
back the
hunter.
tape
Ronas.
the last 2 nights. I'm not gonna lie, and there's some good takeaways that I got, and hopefully we can put that into. No.
No, we talked
Takeaway
just
is
like
Tua or bust.
no. I'm
Is that-
saying like quarterback tape. Like
I watched.
I got into the weeds of it, guys, and maybe we can do like a segment for a later show on like the top 5 quarterbacks and like really break down some stuff. But like
when he means he really
watched
got
a lot.
when he means he really got into it, it means we watched Real Mitchell play 7-on-7 in the elite QB 11
No,
camp.
no, that's not what
No, I'm playing.
we did do that.
It was
but-
kind of interesting.
I don't know. It sucks, the whole coronavirus stuff, but
I mean, 2020 is crazy. It's
everyone's in this position right now. It's not like
that's age.
I mean,
that's ages
Kobe
ago.
dying feels like.
bro, I saw a video
years
the other
ago.
day and it was like I got emotional.